Hello, and welcome to another edition of Chamber Chat Live, brought to you by the Tri-County Chamber of Commerce, dedicated to building communities, creating connections, and supporting commerce. Special thanks to our sponsor, Tim Hillert and Simply PEO. From workers' compensation to human resources support, Simply PEO is the employer's champ. Special thanks as well to our host, Bill Vitiello, representing the Victory Bank. And now, on to our program.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Bill Vitiello. I'm the Institutional and Business Development Manager from the Victory Bank. Thank you so much today for tuning into Chamber Chat Live. Normally, this is where we thank all the people behind the scenes and our sponsors, but we're going to thank somebody different today, and those are our veterans. So on behalf of the Tri-County Area Chamber of Commerce, myself, Victory Bank, Drew Griffin from Delicious Marketing, and everybody else, we appreciate your service. Both in peacetime and in wartime. You make a sacrifice for this country, which is like no other. So we thank you very much.
Very well said, Bill.
Yeah. So I got the man behind the scenes here. This is Drew Griffin from Delicious Marketing. Drew, welcome to Chamber Chat Live. Yeah, you're looking around, right?
Right. Like who is that? Who is he talking about? That's awesome.
Yeah. So you know what I feel like today's episode is going to be?
Shenanigans.
I feel what's that?
Shenanigans.
It could be.
Yeah.
I feel like I have this key, right? And I'm going to open up like the treasure box. I'm going to turn the key and we're going to open it up. And like all this ray of light is going to come out of this treasure box because you are so knowledgeable in your space. I can't even, if you're a business owner and you don't listen to this episode or watch this episode, I can't tell you what's going to happen. But Drew, thank you so much for being willing to come out from behind the scenes. So Drew typically is running the feed, everything behind. So he's putting graphics on. He's making sure that the guests are scheduled and have the right links and everything. And then he's also pushing it out to syndication throughout all of our different Facebook pages, most of which he runs actually. So again, your efforts are greatly appreciated. So thank you, Drew. I'm so glad to have you on today.
Oh, it's a privilege to be here, Bill. And quite honestly, all the voodoo and the magic behind the scenes isn't really that much magic anyway. Who's really doing the heavy lifting is the chamber. It's you interviewing the guests, and it takes a lot of time, takes a lot of effort. To understand your guests, understand what's going on behind the scenes, and having the vision to do so. And I'd like to acknowledge that the chamber chat came about because of you, and you were able to work with the Chamber of Commerce to bring emerging technology through podcasting and the whole concept behind a show to feature chamber members, get them that extra exposure through a medium that truly is emerging, and a lot of people are adopting. People are listening to content all the time. They're on the go. They're traveling to and from work, and in between, they're capturing and listening to episodes. They're learning during this process. And I just want to recognize that the emergence of what's happening here on Facebook and taking that is really because the genesis of what you created and worked together and put something amazing together for the chamber. And the chamber, to their credit, they recognized it and they let members of their constituency, volunteer their time, their energy, and really help get the recognition to a lot of the chamber constituencies, the members of local businesses in and around the Pottstown area, the Tri-County area. So much credit to them as well for really leveraging these tools. And my hat's off to you.
Yeah, and I appreciate the kind words, and I'll continue to say it's just, although I may have started it and had the idea, there's a tremendous support staff that's behind it all. So we all make it work. We all make this world a better place, right?
Yeah, that's the way it should be.
All right, so we did a ton of prep work for this interview.
Yeah, we just decided to jump on here.
It's awesome. But you know what? It's no different than any other conversation we've had where we'll be able to carry a full 30 minutes here. So for those who are not familiar with yourself and Delicious Marketing, can you tell everybody a little bit about you, please?
Yeah, sure. So I grew up in Philly, kind of a Philly transplant from Philly out to like the Douglasville area. So I'm
We'll accept
married.
it.
Yeah, right. I still have that Philly attitude, and bad things happen in Philly if you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, we're excited. My wife and I moved to Limerick, and then out from there to the Douglasville area. My wife and I have 3 daughters. Basically raised them in the Daniel Boone area. We love the area. We love this region, Lower Berks County, Upper Montgomery County type of area. So we're enamored and elated to be here. We're in the community and doing some pretty fun things. And so I spent about 27 years in healthcare as a hyperbaric wound care nurse of all things, right? So has nothing to do with marketing other than towards the end of that career, I developed one of the first apps to help diabetics track their blood glucoses and blood sugars. And why that's important is as a result of developing that application, I had a lot to do with my occupation at the time and the clientele and the patients that I was treating. I saw this opportunity around the advent of the iPhone that one of these things was going to be in everyone's pocket, whether it's an iPhone or an Android device. And I thought, wow, this is an amazing thing that could really help patients track their disease process and get better results from what they were doing or not doing. So within the first a couple of weeks, ended up seeing a great number of downloads, 30,000 downloads plus. And I was taken back by that. I realized, not in my wildest dreams did I realize that the potential of this internet thing and these mobile devices, would I be able to touch the lives of so many different people without having to put my hands on them from a clinical aspect, right? And it just clicked from there. And I realized, wow, this internet thing, these mobile devices, marketing per se, could really impact a lot of people's lives, both the consumer, the patients, and the businesses that are symbiotic in this world. And so shortly thereafter, I realized my time in the clinic was over. I realized that I needed to make the transition into full-time development and marketing and finding ways to touch even more people's lives through applications and software and marketing and all that kind of stuff. So the fun transition at that point was, my last day of work was kind of fun moment to remember. I was working with somebody that wasn't a very nice person, right? Unfortunately, we all sometimes have experienced interactions with comrades and people on the inside your workplace that just didn't jibe. And I think the whole impetus of like leaving your job spectacularly was there. The opportunity was there. So long story short, I ended up going in and telling my boss at the time that I had some good news and some bad news, which she knew and realized that, I was leaving, I was resigning. And so in front of most of our colleagues, which were physicians and nurses and professional people, not that I was really trying to be, a jerk about it. The opportunity was there to kind of drop the mic, if you will. And she said in front of everybody, well, you're leaving. What's the good news? So I said, I have saved $500 on my car insurance by switching to Geico. And, everybody in the room was kind of aghast by like, wow, I can't believe you just said that. And I really just kind of reacted at the moment and realized, okay, I'm on my own now. I need to go out there and start marketing and doing my stuff for my own business. So I had a aha moment and transitioned into doing my own thing and marketing and helping local businesses and things of that nature leverage emerging technology to better connect with customers, get more leads, and of course, improve their sales by using and leveraging this thing that we're talking about, like the internet and mobile devices and all that other kind of stuff. So fast forward a number of years, here I am with my business partner, David Calafiore, who's out in the western part of Pennsylvania. We've got a boutique marketing company. We also do a lot of software development. We've got a bunch of software products and some apps and things that we're working on. And it's just been a blast. I love seeing competitors. I love seeing people that are in our circles of influence win by using and leveraging marketing to tell better stories, to acquire more customers, and of course, make more sales. I know that's kind of long-winded answer to your question, but that's what we're doing these days.
No, but I think, you know what, it's great for the audience to have a background, because you're probably going to talk about a few things today that, you know, they're going to be like, wow, this guy knows so much. Well, he's been through it. He's proven it. So let's talk about one or two things for our business community. I know you've shared some thoughts with the chamber, and we've already implemented some. We're probably going to be implementing more. But if I'm a business owner and I'm listening to this or I'm watching this, can you give us maybe like a few takeaways for some marketing? Go ahead. I'll just kind of turn it over to you. I know you could probably talk for a few days.
Sure. So one thing for sure is the ability to communicate and connect with your customers and clients consistently in a medium that is very digestible is a very, very smart thing to do. Like right now, we're leveraging Facebook and a few other pages, including the Tri-County Area Chamber of Commerce, Pottstown Local News and Events, and a number of other places. Limerick, we've got one in Reading, we've got one in Daniel Boone area, we've got King of Prussia. Essentially, we're taking this video and we are distributing it to multiple other locations simultaneously, which has different audiences, different audience sets. So Facebook gives businesses the ability to leverage broadcast quality video, and gives you the ability that most networks have, right? You know, you're talking about your Foxes, your NBC, CBS's. Facebook in of itself is a major, major network, and you can have your own channel by leveraging a Facebook page, Facebook groups, and be able to get your message out there consistently. So leveraging Facebook Live, even though a lot of people, you know, feel self-conscious about how they look. I mean, I'm one of the ugliest dudes on the internet itself.
You and me both.
Right? We have the ability to connect with people and do some very, very interesting things. Connect with people, be able to, share stories about other businesses that we're interacting with, and of course, acquire customers and clients in the form of email addresses. And this is a huge, huge opportunity for businesses that may not understand and realize the distribution channel that we have before us. Think about it. Before, the internet as we know it right now, before, a lot of businesses relied on newspapers, and they relied on the radio, and they relied on TV. Those mediums never gave you the opportunity to collect your business customers and clients' information. We're talking about names. We're talking about email addresses. We're talking about cell phone numbers, where we can communicate with them almost instantaneously by way of a Facebook message or by way of an advertisement, or a way of sending emails to individuals, and start to develop a relationship that's built upon know, like, and trust. It's built upon providing value, developing a way to deliver information, education, entertainment, that sort of stuff, true value. Whereas before, some of those platforms and those distribution channels were never there. We're talking about platforms like Facebook. We're talking, LinkedIn. We're talking TikTok and Instagram, and these types of channels where people have access 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This device typically for the average American or the average consumer, this device typically isn't further away than just a few feet.
Yep.
And they're constantly checking this information all the time for things that are going to serve them, that's going to entertain them, that's going to inform them, that's going to educate them, and maybe deliver value in the form of money, right? Generating revenue. And the most powerful, mechanism that we've got here, or at least the goal, should be to capture names and email addresses. And all these platforms give us the ability to do that. If in fact you have the gall to put information out there, produce content in a way that does do that. It provides value, it entertains, it educates, informs those of your customers in a way that's much, much smarter. For example, a local pizza place can build a list of thousands of local customers and clients. instead of doing the push type of method where they're advertising in some of the local papers or the the Clipper magazines and the Valpak and stuff like that, where that's a very heavy duty expense center for a lot of the people. Often those mediums, and I love them, I still use them to this day. Often those centers get thrown away. Whereas if you're leveraging Facebook, you can capture names and email addresses and market to them essentially for free. And every Thursday afternoon between the hours of 4 and 5 o'clock, when people are coming home from work, you can send out one push notification, one message, and let them know that you've got a special, right? A special for everyone that's on this list, and it's a discount off of what typically people are spending. You can reach them on this device while they're driving, while they're on their way home, and they're making that decision of what am I going to have for dinner tonight? So even, places like pizza places or local Italian restaurants or, even massage therapists or whatever a local business is, we have the ability to specifically target the likely customers and clients that we have, all simply by building an email list from some of these devices.
So if I'm a business now, okay, so I've heard what you said and I'm like, okay, all right, that sounds good. It sounds like people are going to be coming to me instead of me going to them and pushing that out all the time. So how do I gain all that information? How do I get all the email addresses?
So there's ways of doing this through, there's some technology, emerging technology, messenger bots in general. There's a platform out there called Manychat that works specifically as a third-party tool connected to Facebook, and putting a very interesting article or a post out on Facebook can entice people to engage with it. So, for example, here's something that we do periodically for local businesses. We use and leverage gamification to get people to engage with our posts on a local Facebook page. And what I mean by that is we get them to comment on these pages. What these bots do, what these little programs start to do, is it leverages the attention that's already on Facebook. A lot of people spend an enormous amount of time on Facebook, and they engage with information that's local and companies that are local. So one example might be, hey, the Philadelphia Eagles are playing the Dallas Cowboys. This has nothing to do with business other than, gamification, right? So let's say a fun company might in the Pottstown area might be the Ice House, right? Or JJ Radigan's or something like that, right? They give away a $25 gift card in exchange for people commenting on the thread itself. So what they're doing is they're gamifying and leveraging the NFL football game. It's something like the Philadelphia Eagles are playing the Dallas Cowboys. The first person that guesses the winner and the final score in this format, Philadelphia Eagles 31, Dallas Cowboys 0, right? As you can tell, I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan.
Thank you for that.
Right. So, people will engage in it because they're probably interested in the football game. Most people are interested in that sort of thing, or at least supporting their hometown. And they also potentially want to win that $25 gift card from the Ice House or JJ Radigan's or something like that. They're going to comment below. Now, they're going to guess, they're going to say Philadelphia Eagles or Dallas Cowboys, and they're going to put in their score. Well, in the background, what's actually happening is leveraging one of these Facebook Messenger bots. It gives them, what happens is when they comment in the background, Messenger takes over and starts to have a conversation in the background with every person that actually comments on that particular post. The cool thing about it is, in that process of engagement, you can ask for their name, you can ask for their email address, you can ask for their cell phone number, which is lead generation, lead capture. So now everybody that comments on it, typically we get hundreds of people commenting on these contests. It's a really fun process. Your page gets a ton of engagement. Facebook looks at it and recognizes that, boy, you got 100 people commenting or 150 people commenting. Sometimes we get 500, 600 people commenting on this. This is 500 to 600 email addresses that we're adding to our email list, right? So now JJ Radigan the Ice House or any type of local company has the ability to communicate with them ongoing, right? So now they've got names and email addresses and cell phone numbers. They can text them. They can send out offers and say, hey, this week at JJ Radigan, we've got this performer, we've got that performer, we've got these specials coming in, and their cost is minimal. I mean, we're talking pennies in order to send these types of email addresses out. Whereas starting over every single week trying to acquire customers and clients is just a bad way about approaching marketing. So it's all about the list. If you've got a list of 500 to 1,000, maybe 5,000 people in your local area, the challenge of communicating with them in times of crisis like COVID go infinitely down, right? So now you can say, hey, here's our hours of operation. Here's what our specials are this week. We're open or we're closed, or we're at 25%, we're at 50% this week because of whatever the governor's rules are and that sort of thing. It's an amazing way to essentially send out one message and effectively get the cash register ringing for that particular business when they don't have any other ways to actually connect with people.
Yeah, and it's funny because that message or that question that engages the audience does not need to be anything heavy or in fact, if I could use the example that you and I have spoke about in the past, where you've just asked the question, who has the best pizza, right? And you got literally, I mean, how many views and how many people engage with that? If you
hundreds and hundreds of people. Everybody has an opinion on who has the best pizza or who has the best wings or who has the best insert whatever it is in that question. Everyone's going to have an opinion. And the cool thing about it is a lot of these businesses, when or a lot of people that answer those types of questions will often tag those businesses inside the comment thread, which gives them that extra exposure. So now you get on the radar of some of these businesses, and what happens in the background is like, who are these guys? Who is this Pottstown local? Why are they doing this? And they get a ton of exposure. Hundreds of people are seeing people's comments. Almost becomes competitive, and people start to come back. So from a marketing perspective and telling stories, you're getting on the radar of hundreds of local businesses, hundreds of local people that are interested in businesses and getting pizza. They're hungry. Like I'm getting hungry now just thinking about where I'm going to order my next pizza from. Mm-hmm. So these are some pretty interesting ways. I mean, that's very, very basic level where you can actually get amazing results just by leveraging a distribution platform that so many people's eyeballs are on. And a lot of people aren't on Facebook, but then again, there are billions of people on Facebook. There's a ton of people in the Pottstown area, a ton of people in the Limerick area, and all throughout southeastern Pennsylvania that are on Facebook. If you want to move the needle in your business, you have to learn to navigate some of these platforms and do some interesting things. And that's sometimes leveraging third-party tools like the one I just mentioned, or some of the ones that we're creating for a lot of local marketers or local businesses, and using different tactics and strategies to help build out those lists. And it's just a lot of fun, engaging and connecting with local businesses in that way and telling stories and using Facebook Live and things of that nature to, really leverage the distribution channel that these platforms are existing for. Like you've got YouTube, you've got Twitter, you've got LinkedIn, you've got all these different things now that you can really reach different demographics and people that prefer to consume content from those platforms however they choose. But having a presence and being able to speak and how to leverage those platforms is where we come in.
So this is interesting because I knew this interview was going to go this way. I'm looking at the time. It's 23 minutes already. Right. And, we want to make sure we respect the audience and keep it under 30 if we can. But I would ask, if you want to hear more Drew Griffin, drop a comment on Facebook on the Tri-County Area Chamber of Commerce page, and we'll ask Drew to be back on again because I know he's got more to talk about. Sure. So let's just spend a few more minutes, Drew. If there's something else that you could recommend to the business community to help with their marketing efforts, by all means, go ahead.
Sure. So like right off the bat, I think if you want to read and understand some of the things in our perspective on some of the smartest minds in marketing and how you can really amplify results with your business, we've put together an amazing newsletter that I think everybody would, at least in the business community, members of the Tri-County Area Chamber of Commerce could benefit from, or if you're watching this anywhere else, It's called localmarketingweekly.com. We've just put this together. And listen, if you want to get more exposure for your business, and you produce content that's smart, that serves the business community, local business community, we will absolutely feature you and your business inside our newsletter for free. And hopefully we'll get you more exposure. We've got the plan to grow this out to 10,000 plus more local businesses, not only in this area, but potentially across the country. So the best way to do that is head over to localmarketingweekly.com. It's completely free. You just have to opt in with your email address. You'll get access to the newsletter for free. We are connecting with all kinds of businesses, and we want to feature yours as well. And we've got some tools out there that I'll shamelessly plug. We have something that's amazing if you want to build your email list out kind of on autopilot. A great way to do that is through Facebook groups. The name of our product is called Group X, and you can find out more information about that by going to groupx.io. Here's a couple of the web addresses below.
Look at you multitasking.
Trying to multitask a little bit here, right? So you've got that, and let's see, I'll just pop the newsletter up again. This is a really, really cool way to get your business featured. If you've got information that's going to serve local businesses, that's the way to do it. And hopefully we can serve it. We've got an amazing group of people that are learning to hack local marketing and find really cool ways of not being, too salesy about stuff, but really provide value to people. So our marketing group we've got online is called Delicious Local Marketing Hacks, and it's filled with thousands of people that we love to promote. They've got products, they've got services, people that are really smart about LinkedIn. They've got podcasts, and it's really about other people. It's not so much about us. And we'd love to invite all of you or people that are watching to join us inside that group and learn how to build your list out and then better effective ways of communicating with your audiences.
Okay, guys. So if you're a local business owner, again, this is a lot of information, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. So if you find that, Drew gave a lot of information there. So if you find this intimidating at all, here's what I'm gonna recommend. Just start somewhere. Start somewhere. Sign up for the newsletter. This way, you at least get the thought process going. Maybe you're intimidated by it, maybe you don't think you have time, but you know what? Action creates momentum, and then momentum creates momentum. So just start somewhere. You go ahead, Drew.
Yeah, one thing about that is I know that I talked a lot of marketing speak and tech and all that kind of stuff. What David and I do, and at least through this process of this newsletter, is we recognize that a lot of businesses don't understand this. So what we try to do is we democratize, meaning we try to break it down into really simple speak and understand that, okay, if I do this, I'm going to get this result, and make sure that, even if you don't want to do it for yourself, that you find ways and pathways to evaluate whether or not that's for your business. And really, in a short interview like this, it's kind of hard to get into specifics, but we often do a lot of tutorials and we explain very simply, hey, if you do X, Y, and Z, you're going to get these types of results. So that's really what I really want to implore upon everybody that might be considering this. Doesn't matter what kind of business you have, we're all in sales. Whether it's in banking, whether it's in marketing in general, chiropractic, healthcare, wellness, whatever it might be, selling physical products, you got to tell your story, and part of that process is developing an audience, and that's really what we're all about is showing you how to do that and do it more effectively without a lot of confusion. So hopefully that explains it a little bit more deeper than having to understand the techno babble that I just branded on for 20 minutes there.
Yeah, no, it's all good. And I'm looking on the sideboard here. You got a nice compliment from Greg Adams. He's known you for over 10 years and you always over deliver. That does not surprise me.
Thank you, Greg. I appreciate that. Greg is a good friend. He's got an amazing marketing business. He's actually checking in from Nevada. So
cool.
He's doing some amazing things out that way himself, really smart in the Amazon Alexa and voice stuff. Greg is if anybody's interested in that kind of marketing, I send everybody that's interested in that kind of stuff over to Greg
Nice.
because he's just a genius when it comes to that kind of stuff. Listen, open invitation. I love working with the chamber. It's really great amplifying and telling business stories. I love how you do that. I love how you interview everybody and really evoke the best essence out of everybody that you bring onto the show. You make it very comfortable for everybody, and I'm glad to work alongside you.
Yeah, and again, I appreciate that. So, let that be a testimony to those folks who think you might be nervous coming on here, or hey, this video thing isn't for me. Believe me, we just have a great time, and it's a simple conversation. It's no different than if you and I were in person. It's really nothing to get nervous about. I know I say that because I've done this. I can't even tell you countless of dozens of times. But it really, I think a lot of people who come on here nervous walk away with a completely different experience. So if you are a member of the chamber and you want to be on Chamber Chat Live, by all means, reach out to us at podcast@TriCountyAreaChamber.com. So, Drew, thanks again for being a guest today. Greatly appreciated.
Anytime, Bill. Continue the good work. And as Bill mentioned, hey, connect with Bill, get on the show. We'd love to feature you, love to tell your story about you and your business and how people can connect with you and all that kind of stuff. So the Tri-County Area Chamber of Commerce works super hard to do that. And, my general thanks to Eileen and Danielle and the entire staff at the Tri-County. They work tirelessly behind the scenes and put all kind of hours into it. And, this is just one medium that they're working behind the scenes for you. You might as well take advantage of it. And besides, you get this sexy individual over here, Bill, taking good care of you and interviewing you, making sure that you're looking good and all that kind of stuff. And thanks so much, Bill.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure. And can we have you on for a part 2?
Yeah, anytime. Anytime you've got more questions, I'll answer them.
Yeah, let's make that happen. And maybe we'll gather some questions from the community. Maybe we'll do a little Q&A action. What do you think?
Yeah, that, or we'll do some teaching. I've got some slides. I got some demos, and we'll actually show people how to do some cool, fun stuff and get some amazing results right before their eyes. And
actionable stuff, right? Yeah, right off the bat.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I appreciate that. Drew, my guest again has been Drew Griffin from Delicious Marketing. Thank you again so much for joining. My name is Bill Vitiello from the Victory Bank. I'm the Institutional Business Development Manager. Thank you once again to all of our sponsors and the Chamber. And until we connect again, all my best. Bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in. Please like, turn on notifications, subscribe, or share. Want to be a guest? Email podcast@tricountyareachamber.com.